My wife smashed my PS5 into pieces because I forgot to wish her goodnight after a 16-hour shift at work. Right there on the hardwood floor was my PlayStation 5, completely shattered into plastic shards and twisted metal. She had ripped it out of the wall, thrown it onto the floor, and repeatedly smashed the heavy metal flask into the side panels until the entire console was completely ruined. When I stood there in absolute shock and asked her what she was doing, she looked at me with pure rage and said, "Since you clearly care more about ignoring me and sleeping than acknowledging my existence when you come home, you don't deserve to have anything that brings you joy." I tried to explain to her that I was literally running on zero sleep after a 16-hour shift, but she didn't want to hear a single word of it. She claimed that forgetting to wake her up or whisper goodnight was a sign of deep disrespect and emotional neglect. That console was a gift from my late brother, and she knew exactly how much sentimental value it held for me. Right now, she is locked in the bedroom acting like she is the victim in this situation, and I am seriously contemplating calling a divorce lawyer from my steering wheel. Am I overreacting for wanting to end a marriage over a piece of plastic, or is this a completely toxic red flag and this is how... My dad bought my lazy brother a $2,000 gaming PC, but refused to buy me a $50 cologne because he claimed I need to learn the value of a dollar. Let me back up because the double standards in my house are driving me completely insane. Yesterday, my brother turned 16, and my dad completely outdid himself by gifting him a massive pre-built $2,000 gaming PC with an RTX graphics card, a panoramic glass case, and full RGB lighting. My brother has barely passed a single class this entire year, does absolutely zero chores, and spends 20 hours a day screaming at his monitor while sleeping through his alarm every single morning. Meanwhile, I have been working my absolute butt off maintaining a perfect GPA, helping around the house, and doing everything right. So today, when we were out at the mall, I saw a bottle of cologne on sale for $50 that I have been wanting for months. I asked my dad if he could get it for me as a reward for my good grades, but he immediately scoffed and shut me down. He looked me dead in the eyes and said that buying me luxury items would spoil my work ethic, and that if I want things in life, I need to learn the value of a dollar and earn them myself. I stood there completely speechless, remembering the giant flashing gaming rig he literally handed to my brother on a silver platter less than 24 hours ago, without making him earn a single penny of it. When we got home, I couldn't even look at him, and now my mom is telling me I am being ungrateful and dramatic for ruining the family dinner over a bottle of perfume. This is how... My wife stole my car and sold it to rent a house for her boy best friend, so he could move here to be closer to her. What do I do? Let me back up because I am currently sitting in a police station filing an actual grand theft auto report against my own wife. We have been married for 3 years, and she has always had this guy best friend from college who she claims is just like a brother to her. He lived 3 states away, but they would text and call constantly, which always made me a little uncomfortable, but I trusted her. Last week, he lost his job and told her he couldn't afford his apartment anymore, and my wife completely lost her mind trying to find a way to help him move closer to us. I explicitly told her we did not have the extra money to fund another grown man's life, and I thought that was the end of it. Well, 2 days ago, I woke up for work, and my custom sports car was completely missing from the driveway. I panicked thinking it was stolen by a random thief until I saw my wife's phone sitting on the counter with a message from her best friend thanking her for sending him the cash for a deposit on a rental house. When I confronted her, she broke down and admitted that she took my spare keys, met up with a shady buyer from Facebook Marketplace, and sold my car under the table for cheap cash just to rent him a house. She literally looked me in the eyes and said she did it because his mental health was struggling, and that if I really loved her, I would understand that her best friend needed to be close to her. I am absolutely done, and I am letting the cops handle her while I pack my bags and call a divorce lawyer. Am I overreacting for calling the police on my own wife, or is this the most insane level of betrayal possible, and this is how... My wife smashed my PS5 into pieces because I forgot to wish her goodnight after a 16-hour shift at work. Let me back up because I am currently sitting in my car trying to process the absolute insanity that just took place in my living room. Yesterday was easily the most exhausting day of my entire career. Our company was handling a major system migration, and I ended up working a brutal 16-hour shift straight through the night. By the time I finally unlocked my front door at 3:00 a.m., my brain was completely fried, my eyes were burning, and I could barely keep my balance. I quietly walked into the bedroom, saw my wife sleeping, and literally collapsed onto the mattress. I didn't say a word, didn't check my phone, and didn't wish her goodnight because I blacked out from pure exhaustion the second my head hit the pillow. That turned out to be the biggest mistake of my life. This morning, I woke up to the sound of a massive echoing crash coming from the living room. I bolted out of bed still half asleep and ran out to see my wife standing over my entertainment center holding a heavy metal hydro flask. My dad cheated on my dad, so I tied his nuts to a firecracker. Let me back up, yes, I have 2 dads. No, it is not a typo, and yes, my family is a total circus. It started when dad number 1 left his phone unlocked, and dad number 2 found texts from a chick named Glenda saying, "Cannot wait to see you tonight, handsome." Dad number 2 absolutely lost his mind. He woke me up at 2 a.m. pacing the room. Now I am a supportive son, but regular therapy would not fix this. We needed psychological warfare while dad number 1 was fast asleep. I sneaked into his room with a leftover heavy-duty packet bomb firecracker from my closet. I carefully tied the firecracker to a pair of massive metallic novelty walnuts he keeps on his nightstand as a fidget toy relax. I am a content creator, not a felon. I lit the delayed fuse hid behind the door, and boom! It went off with a deafening flash. My dad shrieked, launched out of bed like a missile, and landed face first into the laundry screaming. Dad number 2 flicked on the lights, threw the phone at him, and yelled, "Who is Glenda?" My dad, covered in ash, just groaned, "You idiots. Glenda is a breeder in Rawalpindi. I was surprising you with a French bulldog puppy for our anniversary. So yeah, my dad did not cheat. I blew up his nightstand for nothing. And I am grounded until 2030, but hey, we are getting a puppy.